I started the company. The idea, the first clients, and the product were all mine, developed at a kitchen table before anyone else walked in. 18 months into that initial grind, Marcus joined as a co-founder. He brought a specific set of tools I didn't possess, sharp operational expertise, and a professional network that helped us begin to scale. As that scale grew, the power dynamic inside the business shifted. We brought on 2 small external investors, and the focus pivoted away from the original foundation toward the newly built operational machinery. The boardroom arrived at a dangerous conclusion. They looked at the highly structured systems we had built and decided that this organizational machinery was the true source of the company's value, making the original creator obsolete. The push-out was sophisticated. Marcus and the investors quietly cultivated a narrative behind closed doors, reaching a consensus that I was an excellent visionary, but ultimately not scalable. They presented a restructure proposal. It severed my operational authority, installed a new CEO role at the top of the hierarchy, and suggested I take a demoted chief creative position with significantly reduced equity. By the time I fully understood the maneuver, the votes were already lined up. I faced 2 choices: engage in a legal battle that would drain our capital and likely bankrupt the business, or negotiate an exit package that gave me enough runway to start over. I chose the exit. I shook his hand, signed the documents, and walked out the door. The boardroom had legally exiled the founder. They sat at the table confident that they had retained total ownership of the company's underlying value. My exit included a 12-month non-compete, placing a rigid legal boundary around our service category. I respected it. Instead, I focused on the adjacent space, underdeveloped areas just outside that agreement that the old company had never built out. I spent the next 12 months locked in a quiet build. I hired a completely new team, constructed highly robust infrastructure, and mapped out comprehensive systems in this adjacent zone. The boardroom relied on the non-compete to protect their interests. Instead, that 12-month restriction created a quiet, focused window for me to build their ultimate competitor. Over that year, 2 very different realities played out. Marcus and the investors leaned on the existing brand and operations. Meanwhile, I was methodically assembling a superior operational vessel from scratch. They had made a severe error in valuation. They confused the company's operational structure, the desks, the titles, the legal entities, with the actual asset that generated revenue. Operational machinery and brand structures can be built in a matter of months, but the deep-rooted trust required to secure and keep client relationships takes years of personal history to forge. The boardroom successfully captured a pristine legal shell, but walking out the door, I took the true, irreplicable asset, the trust of the market. On month 13, the non-compete expired. I immediately deployed our adjacent infrastructure directly into the core market. I reached out personally to 7 distinct clients. These were the exact accounts who had originally signed with the old company because of my personal relationships with them. The outreach was simple. There were no aggressive pitches or attempts to poach them. I just wanted to reconnect and let them know I was back in the market, building something new. Simply presenting these clients with an alternative option acted as a stress test on the boardroom. The narrative that I was unscalable collapsed the moment my old clients were given the choice to work with me again. The market corrected rapidly. Within 3 months, 5 of those 7 core clients moved their business over to the new company. My original company bled those key accounts so publicly that the rest of the industry took notice. Today, my new company is significantly larger than the one I was pushed out of. Marcus and I have not spoken since the day I signed the exit papers. A board of directors can legally expropriate your equity. They can strip your title, empty your office, and lock you out. But they cannot take what other people think of you. Investors can buy a corporate structure, but the foundation always follows the builder. Has someone ever pushed you out of something you built? Tell me what happened.